Hi guys, it's Chris. Welcome to my dollhouse, and I would like to introduce my newest doll. I found her yesterday while I was out op shopping. I usually go for a long walk at least once or twice a week, and I found her at an op shop at Semaphore, which was about an hour's walk from home, and her name is Lynn, and she's absolutely adorable. And she's hard plastic, but not really hard. Yeah, hard plastic, I'd say, but it doesn't feel cold or anything else like that. She is a Lakeshore doll. I haven't heard of the name Lakeshore as a doll company, and she's marked as 1988. So I'm not too sure whether that's how old she is or the copyright year, because I can't find that much information about Lakeshore dolls. She's had a haircut sometime before I bought her, and it was very quite matted when I found her, but I cleaned her up and got all the tangles out. And she's just so adorable. She has that knowing look, doesn't she? So she's following you, and she's just really cute. She's so I dressed her in those clothes, and I've put her up here with my Walders. As you can see, the Walders are looking after her. So she's quite happy there. So that's Lynn, my Lakeshore doll. So you can look up the name if you want, but I can't find that much. They're learning dolls, but when I look up Asian dolls, you get all sorts of odd things on Google, so I don't want to go there. So but anyway, so there's my other ones, and you can see my little Walders are all sitting down there quite happy, as well as up there. And remembering one of my Walders had a bit of a fall and broke his legs. As you know, they got clacky legs, or clicky legs, we like to call them, and he's clacked once too often and sort of shattered. So I pulled him apart and just sort of left his head there, but he's quite happy there. So I'm going to do a reading for you guys, so bear with me while I pop you in. And what's going to be happening this month? What information is going to come through? So think about what you would like to see happening this month, for the month of May. I'll be away for a month, as I mentioned. I won't be back until June, but I'm hoping to be able to still do some readings. So what's going to be happening for the month of May for you guys? So I'm just going to get some decks out. I've put most of mine away, so I just want to know a bit of information for you guys. I'm just trying to think of what. I don't know, I'm going to give you this book of answers. This is a really interesting book. You can still buy it in modern printing. But this is a 1999 edition, so I'm really quite happy with that. It has some really weird answers in that book, but we'll go through them and see what might be coming up. So think of a question as I'm sorting through some cards here for you guys, and see what might be coming through. So answers and some information. I think that might be enough for the time being. So think of your question that you want to know an answer to, and I will give you an answer. So I'm just going to move this over here. So think of your question, 1, 2 or 3, whichever one you like to consider yourself, and I'll give you an answer, some in-depth information, and perhaps just an inspiration quote. So your question. Number 1, what was your question? Have you decided? what your question was. I'll give you the answer. I'm just going to go through this book here. I'm just going to flip through the pages until I find out where to stop. The answer for number 1 is... question. The answer is laugh about it. Laugh about it. Does that make sense to you today? Number 1, laugh about it. So the question has an answer. Laugh about it. Let's see why. Number 1. Why do you laugh about it? The sea. The sea, as far as you can see. Is there a sea change coming up? Is there something brand new about to appear in your life? Are you looking for something brand new? Or do you feel all at sea? Do you feel as though you're not coping with life? There's all sorts of different ways of coming through here, but you're going to laugh at it. So I would think this indicates a sea change. I believe that this is indicating that there's just so much out there that you are looking for more than what you already have, and you're seeking something brand new, a new change in direction, a new environment, a new perspective of life. And it's not going to, you're not going to find it standing where you are right now. You're going to find it when you make the biggest change of your life and seek further afield, even if that means across the ocean. So I do believe that you are headed for a major sea change, and that you are going to find that very shortly, within this month. The prospect of starting again, finding your niche. It's not where you are right now, and I think the universe wants you to realise that you are not in the right place for what is about to come into your life. You need to move away from where you are, and I think a relocation is coming up, and definitely a sea change. A sea change is on its way to you. It's like it's inevitable. So I'm going to pour you a cup of tea, and then I'm going to give you some inspiration. So where are you going for your sea change, number 1? Where are you headed? Where would you like to be? Where's your heart calling you to explore? Oh, I'd love to go and have a sea change. I really would. Does this make sense to you today, number 1? So let's have a look and see what your message is. I trust that my intuition is always leading me in the right direction. Perfect. That's perfect. I think we've come across the answer, don't you think? Yes, so thank you, number 1. Number 2, think of your question and I will find you at the answer. The answer is remain flexible. Remain flexible. Does that make sense? Let's find out the nitty-gritty. Remain flexible is the answer to your question. I'm going to pour you a cup of tea too in a moment. Individual cups of tea. The nitty-gritty. The child. Remain flexible and think positively. Children have this unique ability just to live life and to experience life and just explore life and see what happens. They don't have the need to have an answer. Does that make sense? They just go about exploring life, doing what they need to do, lose track of time, find the uniqueness in all of their experiences and just do it for the sake of doing it. And I think that's what's coming through for you now. So be flexible and just let it be. Just let it unfold. Just experience life as it is and see where it may lead you. Just explore life and see where it may lead you. Does that make sense for you today? I'm hoping it does, because you know, children are just adorable. They're just, yeah, they are who they are, and they don't want to be more. They don't need to be more. Just happy to be who they are and experience life as they see it, and just take what comes, you know. Sure, they get frustrated and we have to help them, to guide them. So there might be someone helping you and guiding you just to see the possibilities when you get stuck, to give you an idea of where and how to move forward. So I think be flexible and just be. So I'm going to pour you a cup of tea. And then put out your possibilities and see what might be coming through. Oh, same one, doesn't matter. I trust that my intuition is always leading me in the right direction. I think this is important. It's come up for you as well. So I think this is really important. What does your heart and your soul tell you to do? How does your heart and soul tell you to experience this question that you want? So hopefully that's helped you. Number 2. Number 3. Do you have your question? Do you want to know the answer? I'm going to give you the answer from this book. So think of your question as I flip through the pages and come to where your answer lies. So what is your answer? Ah, this is different. The answer is in your backyard. Ah, so is that a bit like if the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, water your own? Is that what it's trying to say? Is the answer is in with you, with what you know, with where you are right now. The answer is there. It's just a matter of seeking it and trying to find out the obvious in a way. So maybe the answer is obvious and it's in your own backyard. You know the answer. And maybe you're trying to avoid the probability of it, or you just want second opinion perhaps, or each time you ask you get the same reply. So maybe you already know the answer, and if the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, then they say water your own. To tend your own garden, tend your own needs perhaps, to find the answer that you seek. So I'm going to pour you a cup of tea in a minute, but I'm going to give you this card first, just to see what else is happening. The ancestor. Interesting. So it's virtually saying, yeah, the answer is within you. It's always been within you and always will be within you. And perhaps it's asking you, what would an ancestor tell you to do? What would your mum, what would your dad tell you to do? What would someone important tell you to do? Is it a family issue? Is it to do with people that you know, people that you love? Is the answer you seek within you, and within you what you are of how you are, of how you're built, of your DNA. Does that make sense to you today? Let's pour a cup of tea and see if I can give you some inspiration. Are you ready for some inspiration? I don't believe this. This is the third time it's come up. I've shuffled the cards and I cut the deck, but it came up again, so it must be important. I trust that my intuition is always leading me in the right direction. So yes, I hope that's answered your question for you. Number 3. I don't believe that, guys. I shuffled the deck, I cut the deck, but the card came up 3 times. How would you be? Well, anyway, guys, I also want to show you 2 new books that I found. Well, one I've had for a while, but I haven't. This book here by M.R. James and R.L. Stevenson, The Haunted Haunted Doll's House and Other Stories. So there's 3 little stories in here. Very fine print, as you can see, but I'm going to be reading that as well. Yeah, it's so cute. I found this on eBay. I just thought, I have to have this one. Just have to. And The Art of Tea and Friendship. Full disclosure, guys, I'm not into tea, to drink tea, but I love the idea of tea. And I love the idea of sharing tea. And my mum drank tea till the cows came home. She just loved her tea. But I've never been able to drink it. I've never been able to find myself enjoying a cup of tea. So full disclosure, but I just love the idea of afternoon tea. I just love the idea of sharing tea. And this book is really quite sweet. So I love teacups, as you know, and I love teapots and tea cozies and just all that. I just love the idea of afternoon tea, the proper afternoon tea. So I found that. I've had it for a while, but I'm just sharing it with you now in my new book as well. So hopefully that's interesting for you. And I'll be back. I'm trying to get back. I'll try and do a reading next week, but I won't be home here next week. I'll be at my daughter's house while she chuffs off to Thailand. Yeah, so hope you found the answer that you seek. This is an interesting book. I mean, you can still get it, but okay, guys. I feel a little bit higgledy-piggledy today because it's getting so excited. You know how sometimes you just plan these things and before you know it, the time is up and it's time to do it. And it just sort of adds to the excitement, but also adds to the nerves, and it adds to, I don't know, the worry sometimes too. But you know, I'm excited for my daughter. It's her first overseas trip. And I just really hope she has a really good time. And I'm going to look after her, the house and the cats, and explore her suburb. I've been there, but I haven't actually been there for any length of time to explore. So that'd be quite interesting. And yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I'll see you guys a bit while I'm there, and then I'll come back home and start my readings again. So I did put up a post that I'm going to be starting my haunted house readings. I haven't finished my cemetery yet, but I'm getting the story down pat, and I'll probably write it while I'm over at my daughter's, and have the story around, and who's what, and who belongs in the house, and what their story is. So I'll share that with you and start my readings. So hopefully you might be joining me for those. So this is a bit of a mixed bag, I suppose, today. You know how I do ramble sometimes. But thank you very much for tuning in, and until next time, guys, so many blessings.